Hi everyone, this is Deborah. Welcome back. I just want to catch you up with where I'm up to with my unfinished quilt. So this is the one that I was working on last time, and I did actually end up completing it, and I put this really pretty green fabric on the back of it. I had enough left over that I also used that for the binding. You can see that as yet I haven't gone through and clipped all my little strands off, but I will do that. So I'm working today on another unfinished project, which is my house quilt that I was making with Tim Holtz fabric. So let's get that out and have a look at where we're up to. So this is the house quilt that I've been working on, and what I'm doing today is just trying to square up these blocks so that I can measure them and work out how to put them together, because some of the blocks are long and skinny like these two. I've already squared these ones up. And then I've got others that are like this. And I've got ones that are long this way as well. So let's get going. So all I'm doing is I've straightened this bottom edge here. And I'm going to just use that as my guide to square up the rest of the block. So I'm just putting that on there, having a look, and it seems like that's pretty good. And then cutting it. Now, I have to go really slowly because at the moment I'm operating with one eye. So that's where I've been, why I haven't been doing any sewing or anything actually, because about 3.5 weeks ago I had some unexpected eye surgery. I went to my optometrist because I thought that my eyes were tired. I seemed to have a bit of problem in seeing. And my husband was going for an eye test, so I thought, oh, I'll just go down. Here in Australia, we can have a free eye test every 2 years at the optometrist, and then you buy your glasses. But I only went last year and got glasses, and I thought that the problem was that my eyes were just tired. But because I'm also diabetic, I'm allowed to have one every year for free. So I thought I'd go and do that. Anyway, I went to the optometrist on a Sunday afternoon and found out that I have a problem with my right eye, which is a hole in my macula. So not macular degeneration, just a hole in the macula. So it's caused from age, which is delightful to hear that when somebody tells you you're at a certain age, but I guess it's true. So that was on the Sunday. I went and saw a specialist on the Wednesday, and then I had surgery on the following Monday. So it was only a week from the time I found out. Apparently they have to operate fairly quickly when they find these things. And it's amazing what they can do these days, isn't it? So what they did for me was they put a gas balloon into my eye, and that has caused my right eye to be completely blurry. It is starting to get better. Now, I'm just going to stop because I don't want to cut the edge of that house off. I think I need to put another piece of fabric on here. I might just get a clip and put it on there so I remember to do that. I'll just put that there. I have no idea if I've got more fabric, this fabric or not. I really have no idea. So this one is a bit the same in that I thought there was a thread. Oh yeah, there was. I hope I don't cut into the fabric accidentally with my loss of vision in that eye. Anyway, so that's the story. I've got to fix this up here too, I know. So where is my ruler gone? Oh, there it is. And today is the first day, which is 3.5 weeks later, that I thought I might even have a go at doing any of this sort of stuff. So I just got the weight out to help me hold the board, the ruler, so that I didn't come adrift when I was cutting it. I don't think I can cut any more of this one either. I have to put more on that side. I'll iron another piece. Yes, so that's my story. That's why I haven't been doing any sewing, making any videos, or doing anything else. And the worst part is I can't read. That's really got me down. I can see the computer, so I can still work on my computer, but I can't read on my iPad. The words just don't stay in the one place. So, and I can't drive either. I can't really do anything much. I'm not allowed to drive, not allowed to go somewhere above sea level, which is where I live, on sea level, while this gas bubble is in place. I think I'm going to see if I can get a skidge more out of that, because when I cut this, when I sew this together, I mean, not cut it, I don't want to cut into the chimney. So that's the chimney of the house. And when I put a piece on here, when I piece this to the next one, I want to make sure I've still got a piece of the background there and not chopping into the house itself, which hopefully will be doable. But yes, I've just been hit this year with one thing after another. I don't know, it's just, you know, life keeps throwing lemons at me, and I'm trying to make lemonade. Nothing else I can do, really. So that's just the story. And then down the bottom here, I don't know how straight this piece is. Okay, it's a bit wobbly. Oh, that's it. I don't know. I saw this tip of putting a thing on your ruler. I was watching some YouTube, and I thought, oh, that's a good idea. I might give that a go, but it keeps rolling off. Maybe they had a bigger, wider ruler or a smaller weight. But it seems to help a little bit. Okay, let's go on. I hope you are going better than I am in terms of health. Though I'm well, I just can't drive and I can't do anything much. Okay, let's do this. I think that's pretty good, that one. Doesn't look it on this side, but that's just because I've sewn things on an angle. It's pretty good. Okay. So once I've finished cutting all these into a size, or, you know, an oblong or a square or whatever it ends up as, I'm then going to look at how I could put them together. So I don't know yet how I'm going to do that. I think what I'll do is I will just maybe draw the shapes and the sizes that I've got onto something, like maybe on my iPad somehow, and then I can just drag things around and play with them. I don't want to have to do it with the actual pieces, because I think it'll be difficult. I think it's better to number the pieces, work out how big they are, and then I can put them together. Maybe even cut some teeny tiny little shapes out in their size that I can play with. Not sure, that's pretty good, I think. I may have to adjust some of this because, you know, my sight's a bit off as well. I'm trying to keep it straight. I've cleaned up my craft room today. That's something I could do. So therefore, I bought some door fronts, not drawer fronts. I could have bought drawers, but I didn't. I bought some door fronts, and I've been sorting out how to store my fabric in there, which I'll show you. And you can give me any tips or tricks you've got if you store yours that way. Again, I've been looking at YouTube. One thing I can do is watch YouTube and watch the TV, so at least that's good. Okay, that's pretty good, I think. So I've got a whole heap more of these to do. Rather than bore you with that, I'm going to show you my how I'm storing my fabric now. I'll just go and get that and show you what I've done. So what I've done is folded the fabric and put it onto these little bats. So I cut these out of the A4 comic book pieces that I had. You get two, well, the size that I've done for this, which I experimented with, but finally decided 5 by 5 was the perfect size to go in these and also to go in these. Now this here is a container that has a lid that lifts up. It doesn't come off. Probably would if you pulled it off, I think, but I'm not pulling it off. And then this is my lot of pattern fabric that has a lot of colours in it. That's how I've chosen to store these fabrics. And this one is upside down or sideways, as you can see. It's meant to go up here like this so that you see all the pretty fabric at the top. But that's okay, I'll fix that. So yeah, all of these things, although there's a fair bit of pink in there, but they've also got a lot of other colours in them. And this is, that's why I stored that like that. I remember now, it didn't actually fit the other way. Now I'm pinned these with pins, but I'm going to get some different things because that isn't ideal. I've already stuck myself once yesterday when I was doing this. So I will get some of the clips I've seen other people use when they're doing their fabric like this. And that I had the comic book board already, and I store some of my larger pieces on the A4 comic book board. Now these containers, I had them already. They are here in Australia, they're from Kmart. I need to do some nice labels. I've just stuck that on for now. And I will link the video where I talked about these last year, I think. And I got them, I'm pretty sure, yeah, Kmart, maybe Big W, I can't remember, one of those. But they're just a clear plastic bin that fits the 5x5 really well. That was why I cut the piece to that. And the other thing that I'm using are these. Now, this is all folded the same way, and probably not as neatly as a lot of people, but you know, I just sort of folded them up and went, that's enough for me. Again, I'm using the same size bat because these are the fridge mates that you can get. I'm pretty sure I got these at Big W as well. I guess if you're overseas, in America particularly, I know I see a lot of this type of thing in America. So what I've done here is stored them by like black and white and then a couple of neutrals, and this is my reds. Now I haven't finished finding and folding everything as yet, so there will be more. I'm sure this will be all reds, and the coloured mix one is already quite full, but I will persevere and see how I go as I'm finding and sorting my fabric. And then I will show you now how that fits in the IKEA calyx with the door. This is one of my IKEA calyx unit. It's a 4x4. The top row I've got other bits in there, so I've got dividers and things. And I've been cleaning out these two rows, the middle two rows, so we can fit these door fronts on them. So what you do when you put these in is there's a piece that goes all the way around inside. So it goes around to the back and comes out to the front. That is what you attach your door to. That's part of the kit that it comes with. But of course that means this piece here is wide, and this piece is also, I'm not sure how much that would be, maybe 1/4 of an inch, bit more than that. But anyway, they end up making the actual shelf smaller because you've suddenly got this thing. And also you can't push things back because it's got a back in it. So that's okay. I mean, that's probably a good thing in some instances. But what I found was that some of the stuff I had in there didn't fit any longer. For example, the large white IKEA boxes, and I'll show you one of those there with craft stuff in it. Those ones, I don't know what they're called, they no longer fit once you have the door front in place because it's suddenly a smaller cube than what you had before. So that's when I started looking at my fabric and thinking, can I utilize some containers I've already got and bring my fabric from one place where it was kind of stored in buckets over here, sort it out so that I can clearly see what I've got when I want it. For example, there's my teal one, again pretty full, and they fit on top of one another. And then I will show you up the other end here. I'm preparing this one here. My husband hasn't put all of the inserts in for me yet, but I'm preparing that one there, and I've got another one of those. So 4 of the big ones will fit. Again, I'll link that video because you'll see when I tested all this. And I bought things home and I ended up taking some stuff back because it wasn't the right size. But then I found these. These have all got lids, these ones. So I will put stuff in them. And then if I go down the bottom here, you'll see I've got 3 of them in there and one of the fridge mate things, but I've got 3 of the lidded ones. and they're my obviously pinks, yellows, red, white and blue. I made one for purples and just blue down the bottom there. This next one here, this next cupboard is a little bit different. I folded my things onto bats because the fabric was too big and it was just taking up that whole plastic drawer. But I think that some of this smaller stuff over the, I'll just point to it. I think some of the smaller stuff here, where I've got those ginghams at the left side, they will possibly come out and go into one of the boxes. But the biggest stuff that I've got, when I've got quite a bit of yardage, I left on here. And then in the one above it, I also have stuff. Now I haven't sorted my yardage by colour yet, but I think I'm going to do that. And I haven't really folded any of that. I've just had that already in a bucket and I've just put it in there for now. And then in front of that, I've got some jelly rolls and I've got some packs of a different size yardage and, you know, some other kits, another kit thing that I have. But I think once I refold all this and sort by colour, it's going to be quite good. And plus I really love that you can shut the door. And my room gets a lot of dust and a lot of light, so I need to store my fabric away from that. So being able to close the door is a very good thing. And the other thing I will do when this is sort of finished is I will get some new handles. These are just the standard little IKEA pulls that they give you with these, but I intend to get myself some pretty little handles. I'm sure that something like that I'll be able to find at the hardware store or somewhere, and then fill up these other ones, the empty ones that are sitting there now. So I bought 8 in total, so the middle 2 rows are going to have doors, and then I have a 4x4 unit, and I also bought 4 of these for them because I store books and things in that, and again they get really dusty. And then my craft stuff, which is some of which is down there, is needs to be sorted out as well. So for the moment I'm concentrating on getting my fabric to a point that I'm happy, and that when I open a cupboard it brings me joy. I think it looks really pretty, and it will look even better once I've refolded it all and stacked it in colour order. But that's what I've been doing. And then in here I've just put some yardage and stuff that I've got. So again, I'll have to stand that up. The other thing it does, in case you're wondering, if you're in this position, is that you can fit a layer cake in there. So I've had that layer cake for quite a while actually. And Promenade it's called, by 3 Sisters. So I will have to sort that out. I've got a couple of layer cakes elsewhere. But you can see even when the doors go in and the cupboard is contained with that extra width taken away, a layer cake will still fit in there. And I do, as I said, have a few of them, so I'll go and hunt them out and stand them up in there. I haven't been buying very many layer cakes. In fact, I haven't been buying much fabric. I did go to the quilt show in Sydney in April, and I did buy a little bit of fabric there. I bought some of the yardage that's in here. I think some of that. I can't remember exactly what I got, but I did get some yardage. But apart from that, I didn't buy anything else. So that's it for today. And down the bottom, just to show you, is some baskets with ribbons and fabric, and I have my project bags in there. So if I have a lot of fabric that I bought in one range, I'm leaving it in the project bags so that it's all together. This yardage and these things that are folded are not from a range of fabric. They're one-off fabrics that I've gone and I found and purchased. Okay, so that's it for today, and thank you for joining me, and I'm hoping to be back next week with another video, maybe even do some sewing as my eye improves. Meanwhile, I'm going to continue straightening up my Tim Holtz fabric, my Tim Holtz house quilt, and also finding some of the fabric that I think that I have left over from that, so that I can, even up some of those squares. But I've got a lot of fabric to sew, so I'd better get on to that, hadn't I? Thanks for joining me. This is Deborah. I'll catch you next time. Cheers.